Hi guys, I've had this gorgeous delivery in the post this week, and that is this beautiful bullet fabric in a safari print. And I picked out the dark green from the trees, and I found this gorgeous like khaki colour fabric, or bottle green, whatever you want to call it. So I will link these in the description below. This one was actually hard to find, but I will try to find the link and pop that in the description below for you guys. Now we are going to be making a head wrap, and this is the one I'm going to show you how to make. So I'm using the khaki and the safari print together, and we've got a gorgeous triple layered bow. So we've got 3 layers, and you've got this lovely twist effect in the middle. So this is what we're going to be making today. I have made a chart showing the sizes that I cut my fabric to for my head wraps, and that is just the wraps, not including the bows, just this part, because I make mine separately. I don't tie my head wraps as one piece, I make my bows separately. So the measurements are just for the actual, just the head wrap. So I'll pop that on next, and then you can take a screenshot of that for future reference if you wish. Okay, so I've already cut all my fabrics. This is for my head wrap, and these 3 pieces are for the bow. So for the head wrap, I've cut this piece 4 inches wide by 18 inches, and then for my bow I've cut 3 pieces. Now the actual height of the bow is up to you. Most people do 5 inches. I've just done 4.5 because I didn't want the bow to be too wide, because I've done my head wrap narrower. I didn't want the bow to be too wide. So I've actually cut this 4.5 inches wide on all of these pieces. The longest piece here for the bottom layer, that is cut to 16 inches in length. This one here is cut to 10.5 inches in length for the middle layer, and this top layer is cut to 7 inches in length. And like I said, it's up to you what width you want to have yours at. So I'm going to start off by making my head wrap first. I've got my piece of bullet fabric which I've cut, my strip. I've got the correct side facing upwards. This is the wrong side, this is the correct side, this bumpy textured side. So I'm going to fold it in half so it's inside out, and then I'm going to sew along these raw edges to join those 2 sides together. So I've got a needle already threaded with some double strength thread and a knot at the end, and I'm just going to start by going in through this edge a couple of times. And then I'm just going to start sewing in and out all the way across that edge. So out, in, out, in, out. And I'm going to do that all the way across. And then when you get to the end, you want to pull that tight to ruche that all up together. I'm just going to put my hand through there, pull that tight, hold it in place, and then I'm just going to go through that end where I've come out. I'm just going to go in a couple of times and then form a knot by not pulling this tight, and then going through this loop a couple of times, and that will form a knot. And then you can then trim off the excess thread. And then when you turn this out the right way, you've then got your head wrap made. So now we can set this aside, and then we can make our bow part. So for the bow, you want to start off with your bottom layer So we've got these 3 pieces. We're going to start off with the bottom layer, which is this longest piece, the 16cm piece. So again, mine is 4.5 inches by 16 inches. I'm going to turn this upside down so that we've got the wrong side facing towards us, and then we're going to bring our sides in. So I've folded this into 4.5 inches, and then I'm going to bring this side over so that we're at 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to bring this bit down. So it's like that, and then I'm going to flip it over. So now that will be the top of our bow. I'm just going to lay that there like that. And then we're going to take our middle size piece, which mine is 4.5 inches tall, and I've cut this to 10.5 inches across. Again, I'm going to flip it upside down. Just move that one up a little bit further. And this time I'm going to use some hot glue. So I'm just going to grab my hot glue gun. So just grab my hot glue gun here. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this piece over to find the centre. And once you've got the centre, I'm just going to place some hot glue. Place it all the way down that centre. Not too much because you don't want it to be too thick with the hot glue. And then bring the side in, overlapping that centre by around 1 centimetre. So this line here is roughly where the centre is, and we're overlapped it by about 1 centimetre. And then bring the other side in. So again, just a little bit of hot glue. If I can get my hot glue gun to come out. I haven't let it heat up for quite long enough. Bring that side in also. And then you can trim off any little excess pieces, because as you can see I've got a little bit of overhang there. So if I flip this over, you can just see that bit of overhang. So I'm just going to trim that to neaten that up so that you can't see it from the front. So now it's like this. And then we're going to lay this, let's bring this one forward. And we're going to lay it on top of this bottom piece, making sure we've got the same distance on either side. Like that. And now we can pop a pinch in there. Now as a rule I do a pinch an inch, so if this was 5 inches I would do 5 pinches. I've actually done 4.5 inches, and as this is doubled up, that's quite thick, so we're going to do 4 pinches. So I'm going to start off by pinching the bottom and the top, and then I'm going to place this finger in the middle to form another pinch there, and then bring that down to make the 4th pinch there. And then grabbing that really tight, I'm just going to grab a piece of thread. Now a lot of people will now use a band on here, pop an elastic band over it to hold it into place, but I just use thread. And to do that, I grab my thread, pop it over the top, under that thumb, making sure you've got enough hanging here to tie, cross it over that centre, and then wrap it around a few times. Give it a pull so it's nice and tight. Make sure that's central before you tie it off in a knot. like that, and then just tie it off on the underside. Like I said, if you've got an elastic band, you can just pop an elastic band round there, whichever method you find easier for yourself. So I'm just tying that off in a knot, and then I'm going to trim off the excess thread. So now you've got this double bow. Now you could leave it just like this and have that on your head wrap if you wanted, but we're going to do that lovely top twisted layer. So again, I'm going to use hot glue to attach this to my head wrap. You can do the same as I just did with the thread. You could pop it on there, wrap some thread around the center, but I'm going to use hot glue. So where this join is, going to lay it over my hand, place a piece of hot glue across that middle, grab my bow and line that up across that centre. And that is what it looks like if you just had that as a double bow on a head wrap. But we're going to add that gorgeous third top twisted layer. So just check my animals are the right way up, and I'm going to lay my wrap on the side because that's just how I like to work. So my animals are, the bottom of them is this side, the top is this side, and we're going to take our third and final piece, which is the 4.5 by 7 inches, and what we're going to do is we're going to just roughly ruche the center up. So we're going to pop this underneath here. So on this fabric here, on this bottom loop, the animal's feet are here and the heads are this side, so it's that way up. And on this piece we're going to now slot this in here, but it's obviously sideways. So you want the animal's feet to be towards you. So we're going to slide this under here, the wrong side facing towards me, the animal's feet are here and the animal's heads are this end. Obviously if you've got a fabric with a mixed pattern on where the patterns go all different directions, that won't matter so much. But obviously with this one you want your animals to be the same way on the top layer as they are on the bottom layer. So I'm just gathering these sides and bringing them up. Bringing this side up. And then I'm going to cross over this bottom one over to the left and this, sorry, the bottom one's going over to the right and the top one's going over to the left. And then we're going to tie it off by tucking this one in underneath. And as I'm doing this, I'm making sure that my pattern is facing up on this twist bit. And then we're going to pull it tight. And at this point, don't worry too much that this is upside down. We can sort that out last. You want to concentrate first on getting that nice and tight and that lovely twist in that centre. Now I've gone over to the side a bit, so I'm just going to pull it over and just keep working on that twist. And once you're happy with the twist, you can then start fluffing out these sides. And as you can see, the animal's feet are the correct way up. And this one we need to twist because it's upside down. I'm just trying to figure out which way that will twist better, which I think is that way. So I'm just going to twist it and pull it and fluff it all out, pulling towards the center of the knot to get it nice and tight and even. This does take a little bit of fiddling with to get right, that it's totally worth it once you get there, because it is a gorgeous bow. I do like that. And then once you're happy with it, we can then use a little bit of hot glue just underneath this top layer, just to make sure that that all stays in place. My hot glue gun. Taking the top loop of one side, just lift that fabric, and I'm going to just place some glue where these little bumps are on the pinch. I'm not going to put too much, you just want a tiny amount across there, and then let this fall as it naturally falls on top of that glue, and that will just hold that into place. And I'm just going to turn it over to do the other side, just because I find it easier with my left hand. So again, just placing that glue close to that centre, and then letting that fall naturally with the crinkles in it, so to speak. And that will just hold that all in place and give it that extra little bit of security. And there you have your finished head wrap with triple bow with that gorgeous twisted centre. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications for future tutorials. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye bye.